I'm 100 years old and I need to tell you something that's been keeping me awake at night. Something about time that nobody prepared me for, even after living an entire century. I have a great-grandson. His name is Oliver. He's 4 years old right now. And if I'm being honest with myself, which at 100 you learn to be, I probably won't see him turn 10. And that knowledge, that mathematical certainty, is crushing me in ways that 70 years of life experience couldn't prepare me for. When you're young, you think about time in terms of having enough. When you're middle-aged, you think about time in terms of using it wisely. But when you're 100, you think about time in terms of specific moments you'll never witness. And that changes everything. I can tell you exactly what I'm going to miss. I won't see Oliver lose his first tooth. I won't see him learn to ride a bike. I won't see his first day of middle school. I won't see him discover what he loves, what makes him angry, what makes him laugh until he cries. I won't see the man he becomes. And the cruel irony is that I've seen so much. I've seen the world transform 4 times over. I've seen technology go from radio to artificial intelligence. I've seen humanity land on the moon. I've witnessed wars end and begin. I've buried friends, colleagues, my wife of 62 years, even my own son. But I won't see this. I won't see this one small boy grow into whoever he's meant to become. Last week, Oliver came to visit me. He climbed onto my lap, which at my age is a risky endeavor for both of us, and he asked me to tell him a story, not from a book, a story from when I was little. And I told him about the first time I saw an airplane up close. I was 8 years old, about his age, and barnstormers came through our town. The whole thing seemed like magic, a machine that could fly. He looked at me with these wide eyes and said, "Great-great-grandpa, that's so old." And I laughed, because to him it is. To him, my childhood is ancient history. But to me, that moment with the airplane feels like it happened last summer. That's what nobody tells you about living to 100. The distant past feels close, and the near future feels impossible to reach. Every morning when I wake up, and I do still wake up most mornings, which surprises even me, I have this routine. I lie there for a moment and I count. Not sheep, not blessings. I count the years I've already lived and the years I might have left. 100 years behind me. Maybe 2 ahead. Maybe 3, if I'm incredibly lucky. Maybe 5, if I'm blessed beyond measure. But probably less. Probably much less. And then I think about Oliver at 9, Oliver at 12, Oliver at 16, Oliver at 25. And I know I won't be there. I'll be a story he barely remembers. The really old man who lived to 100 and told him about airplanes. Here's what I want you to understand. Living to 100 isn't the achievement everyone thinks it is. Yes, it's remarkable. Yes, I'm grateful for the time I've had. But you know what 100 years of life teaches you? It teaches you that there's never enough, not even close. I thought when I was 80 that I'd lived a full life, and I had. I really had. But then my grandson had a son, and suddenly I had a reason to want another 20 years, just to see this child grow, just to know who he becomes, and I won't get it. The doctors don't say this directly, but I can read between their careful words. My heart is tired. My organs are old. I'm living on borrowed time, and the loan is almost up. Every test comes back with that same gentle concern. Every visit ends with, "Take it easy and enjoy your time." They're telling me to prepare, and I am. But how do you prepare for missing someone's entire life? I've started writing things down. Little notes, observations, things I want Oliver to know when he's old enough to read them. I want him to know that I thought about him, that in my final years he gave me something to look forward to, that watching him learn to walk, hearing him say my name, seeing him discover the world, those were gifts I didn't expect at 96. I want him to know that I'm sorry I won't be there. Sorry I won't see his school plays or his graduations or his wedding or his children. Sorry that he'll have to learn about me through stories instead of memories. But mostly, I want him to know that I loved him, even though our time together was so short, even though by the time he's old enough to really remember me, I'll be gone. I loved him with every bit of life I had left in me. Here's what 100 years teaches you that I wish I'd learned at 30. Time isn't currency you spend, it's people you love. And the cruelest truth is that you never have enough time with the people who matter most. I had 62 years with my wife, Margaret. 62 years. And when she died, it felt like we'd barely started. I could have had 100 years with her, and it wouldn't have been enough. I had 53 years with my son before he passed, and I would give every achievement, every success, every dollar I ever made for 5 more minutes with him. And now I have Oliver. 4 years so far, maybe 1 or 2 more if I'm lucky, and I'm supposed to be okay with that because I've already lived a century. But I'm not. I'm not okay with it at all. Last month, Oliver's parents brought him over, and we planted a tree together in my backyard, a small oak tree. I told him that one day when he's all grown up, this tree will be big and strong, and he can sit under it and think about me. He asked me if I'd sit under it with him when it's big, and I had to tell him no. I had to explain, in words a 4-year-old might understand, that I'll be gone by then. And you know what he said? He said, "But I'll miss you." And I said, "I'll miss you too, buddy. I'll miss you too." That's the part that keeps me awake, not my own death. At 100, death doesn't scare you. Death is just the final page of a very long book. What scares me is missing his life, missing his stories, missing who he becomes. People keep telling me I'm lucky to have lived so long, and I suppose I am. I've seen things nobody in previous generations could have imagined. I've experienced a century of human progress and change. But luck is relative, because if I could trade 10 years of my past for 5 years of his future, I'd do it in a heartbeat. I'd give up everything from my 90s just to see him turn 10. You see, when you're young, time feels infinite and meaningless. You waste it on grudges and worries and things that don't matter. When you're old, time feels finite and precious. You hoard every moment. You memorize every face. You say I love you more than necessary because you know each one might be the last. But when you're 100 and you have a great-grandson who's 4, time feels like a cruel joke. You finally have someone you desperately want to know better, someone whose future you desperately want to see, and you're out of time. The account is empty. The clock has run down. I've been thinking about legacy lately. What do I leave behind? Some people leave money or property. Some leave inventions or books or businesses. I'm leaving behind memories that will fade and stories that will be half remembered and a tree that will outlive both me and probably Oliver, too. And I think that's okay. I think maybe that's enough. Because the real legacy isn't what you leave behind. It's what you give while you're here. And I gave Oliver my time, every minute I had, every story, every laugh, every moment of watching him discover the world. I didn't know I'd live to 100. Nobody plans for that. And I certainly didn't know that at 96 I'd become a great-great-grandfather and fall in love with life all over again because of one small boy with curious eyes and endless questions. But I did. And now I'm facing something I never expected to face. I'm facing the knowledge that I'll miss most of his life, that my time with him will be measured in years instead of decades, that I'll be a fading memory instead of a living presence. If I could give you one piece of wisdom from 100 years of living, it's this. Don't wait to love people. Don't wait to tell them. Don't wait to spend time with them. Don't assume you'll have later or tomorrow or next year. I had 100 years on this earth, and it wasn't enough. You probably won't get 100 years. Most people don't. So, use the time you have. Love the people in front of you. Create memories while you can. Because one day, you'll be out of time, and you'll wish desperately for just one more moment, just one more conversation, just one more chance to say what matters. I'm 100 years old. I have a great-grandson named Oliver who's 4. If I'm very lucky, I'll see him turn 6 or maybe 7. I won't see him grow up. I won't see the man he becomes. I won't see his life unfold. And that breaks my heart in ways I didn't know were possible at this age. But I'm grateful for the time I did get, grateful for every moment I've had with him, grateful that at 100 years old I still had room in my heart to love someone this much. If you have people you love, go call them, go see them, go spend time with them. Don't put it off. Don't assume there will always be more time. There won't be. Time runs out for everyone, even for people who live to be 100, especially for people who live to be 100, because we know exactly how precious it is, and we know exactly how fast it goes, and we know there's never enough.